Welcome back to Beneath the Silent Stars. I'm Julia, your host, and this episode takes us back to the place where it all began for my father, the field where he saw the glowing light. In his letter, he described it as a moment that changed everything for him, something that lingered not just in his mind, but in his soul. What I didn't expect was to find something in that very same field, something he left behind for me to find. It's a cassette tape, a recording he made after his encounter. And in this episode, we'll listen to it together. I wasn't planning to go back to the field. Honestly, it terrified me. But something kept pulling me there, a feeling I couldn't ignore. When I got there, it looked just as he described, unremarkable during the day, just grass and dirt. But as I walked the perimeter, something caught my eye, a small metal box half buried in the soil. Inside was the tape cassette, wrapped in a piece of cloth with my name written on it. Finding it felt as though he was reaching across the years, bridging the gap between us in a way that was both comforting and deeply unsettling, leaving behind something he knew I would need. And now, I'm going to share it with you.
Julia, if you're listening to this, it means you've found the box. I don't know if I'm ready to share everything with you, but there are things you need to hear. That night in the field, it didn't end when I ran back to the car. There's more to the story. After I got home, I couldn't sleep. The image of the light kept replaying in my mind. I kept feeling like I needed to go back, like it wasn't done with me yet. So a week later, I returned. This time, I brought a recorder. I told myself it was to document the experience, but deep down, I think I wanted proof. Proof that I wasn't losing my mind. When I got to the field, the light was there again, pulsing in the darkness, rising from the ground like it was alive. But this time, I wasn't just watching it. I could hear it. A sound, faint at first, like whispers carried on the wind. They grew louder as I got closer. Words I couldn't understand, but I knew they were meant for me. And then I saw it. Julia. There was something in the light. A figure. It wasn't human, but it wasn't entirely alien either. It stood in the center of the glow, motionless, its form shifting like it was both there and not there at the same time. I tried to speak, to ask what it wanted, but my voice wouldn't come out. I felt frozen, exposed, like it was peeling back everything I was, layer by layer. Then it moved, not toward me, but through me. For a moment, it felt like I wasn't in the field anymore. I was somewhere else, a place without time, without sound. And in that moment, I understood something I can't explain. It wasn't just watching me, it was showing me something.
Hearing his voice after all these years, it's hard to put into words what it felt like. His fear, his confusion, but also his determination. It was all there, captured in that recording. It's unlike anything I've ever heard before. A figure in the light, moving through him, taking him to a place beyond time and sound. What was it showing him? And why? As much as I want answers, I can't help but feel like I'm getting closer to something I'm not ready to face. The field feels different now, charged with an energy I can't explain. And since listening to the tape, I've started noticing things again. Subtle, small, but unmistakable. Shadows moving where they shouldn't. Static in the quietest moments. And a feeling deep in my chest that I'm being watched. Sound effect, faint hum growing louder, then fading. What was the light? Was it trying to communicate? To connect or to warn us? And why did my father leave this tape for me to find? These questions haunt me, but they're also what drive me to keep going. Whatever this is, it's bigger than just him or me. And I have a feeling it's far from over.
After the light moved through me, I sat there in the field, shaken, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The figure was gone, but the whispers hadn't stopped. They were softer now, almost like a melody, but no less unsettling. They weren't words I could understand, but they felt purposeful, like they were pulling me toward something. I recorded everything I could hear. I don't know if the tape captured it the way I did, but you have to listen. There's a rhythm to it, a pattern. It's like a message, Julia, but one I'm too afraid to decode.
Those whispers. They stayed with me long after the tape stopped. There was something almost hypnotic about them, like they were tugging at the edges of my mind. I replayed that section of the tape over and over, trying to decipher the rhythm, the pattern my father mentioned. Was it a language? A code? Or was it something meant to bypass understanding entirely, to communicate in a way we can't fully grasp? But the whispers aren't just on the tape anymore. Since listening to it, I've started hearing them, faint and distant, in the quietest moments, when the house is still, when I'm on the verge of sleep. It feels like they're trying to reach me, to say something. But I can't tell if it's a warning or an invitation. And then there's this undeniable fact. If my father captured those whispers on tape, they weren't just in his mind. They weren't hallucinations or fragments of a disturbed memory. They were real, tangible, recorded evidence of something that existed outside of him, outside of me. Hearing them makes it impossible to dismiss this as coincidence or delusion. Whatever he encountered in that field, it was real enough to leave its mark, not just on him, but on the world around him. Light-based and plasma-based entities are some of the most intriguing phenomena tied to UFO encounters. Reports describe them as luminous, shifting forms that seem alive, intelligent, and interactive. These entities often appear as orbs or glowing shapes, capable of erratic yet purposeful movements, as if responding to human presence. One of the most studied examples comes from the Hessdalen Valley in Norway. For decades, mysterious lights have been seen in the valley, sometimes hovering, sometimes zipping through the sky at incredible speeds. Scientists studying the phenomenon have detected electromagnetic anomalies and documented patterns in their behavior. Some believe these lights are a natural plasma phenomenon, while others argue they exhibit signs of intelligence, as if they're observing the people watching them. The Hessdalen Lights have captivated scientists, skeptics, and enthusiasts alike. These lights are often described as glowing orbs that hover in place, dart across the sky at incredible speeds, or even pulse rhythmically as though responding to unseen forces. Unlike most UFO sightings that are fleeting, the Hessdalen Lights frequently linger for extended periods, making them one of the few phenomena to be consistently observed over decades. Researchers have installed monitoring stations in the valley to capture these occurrences, gathering data on their movement, intensity, and electromagnetic properties. Some experiments have detected unexplained spikes in radiation and unusual radio wave activity, further deepening the mystery. A leading theory suggests that the valley's unique geology, rich in quartz and metallic minerals, creates conditions that generate natural plasma phenomena. However, the light's intelligent behavior defies simple scientific explanation. Witnesses recount moments when the lights seem to react to their presence, either approaching them or vanishing entirely when someone got too close. In one documented case, a group of researchers reported the lights dancing above them, evading every attempt to capture or study them directly. These interactions have led some to theorize that the lights might not be purely natural, but could represent some form of sentient or even interdimensional intelligence. The implications of such an entity are staggering. If these lights are indeed alive or intelligent, they challenge our understanding of what life and consciousness can be. Could they be observing us, studying us, or even attempting to communicate? My father's description of the light in the field, its purposeful movement, and its interaction with him, feels eerily similar. It's as though these phenomena are reaching out, trying to bridge the gap between their reality and ours, leaving behind traces like the whispers on his tape as clues we've yet to fully understand. In other cases, these lights seem to interact on a deeply personal level. Witnesses describe feeling exposed, as though the lights are peering into their thoughts or emotions. My father's experience in the field feels eerily similar. The light wasn't just a sight to behold. It was something that connected to him, something that seemed to know him in a way no one else could. What if these entities are more than phenomena? What if they're messengers, attempting to bridge the gap between their existence and ours? The whispers my father recorded, the ones I've started hearing myself, could be part of that message. But why communicate in fragments, in riddles that leave us more unsettled than enlightened? In the next episode, I'll share another tape I discovered alongside the letters. This recording, unlike the others, is different. It wasn't just about what he saw, but what he feared. It contains details about a presence he believed followed him, and the strange activity that began to plague him at home. Until then, keep looking to the skies. And if you hear whispers in the dark, listen carefully. They might be trying to tell you something.